Right on. Cool, man. Yeah, well, I'm going to bounce. Appreciate you guys.
Yep.
We'll see you next time.
You will, my friend. May your travels be travels.
Broadening the ass.
Very well. Good work. Sleep tight. Most likely to kill you in the morning.
Most likely to kill you in the morning. Hey, there's Grizz.
So that's another gaming session down. But you want to see what I go through to upload a video, huh? Okay. You asked for it. This is Protodead, and this is another typical Protodead Sunday entry in my series. It's about time I got around to doing an editing video. I will be using Adobe Premiere Elements 2020. I got to decide first that I want to record, not what, that. Yes, because my audio circuit is so whack that I have to make sure that GeForce Experience wants to cooperate today. One day I might switch to OBS, but not this day. I have to do a sound check to make sure that the option is set to my correct mic and that it is still recording in 2 channels. More on that later. This is my mixer board and my mic. It gives me a lot of options, but it complicates stuff. When I'm all done with projects, the media gets dumped into these 2 terabyte external hard drives. I've got about 4 of them. I keep everything. It might not be worth it. I'm not sure. Then I have to make sure that the output is set to the correct headset, because I got 3 for some reason. Thanks, Razer. And that's just on the headset, not including the options that I have for each of the speakers that are built into my 2 monitors, or my external speakers I use to listen to music while I'm washing the dishes and shit. I have too many output options. I have to do the same thing for Discord if I'm doing multiplayer that day, or else Discord audio will not be captured on the recording. I wish I had changed my desktop picture to something more interesting. Note to future self. I have to build a file for this project to nestle down inside of, and I have to make sure it's among friends. I have a lot of ongoing video projects. I'm adding a couple of folders in here for the used video files in the group and the unused ones. That way I can keep them straight in the video projects. And I've got episode 1, episode 2, episode 3 folders being built to help me keep things organized, rolling out going forward if I'm going to make a whole lot more of these same video game title videos. So now I have to move my recordings I want to edit from my 2 terabyte solid state drive in my computer that I record onto to my 4 terabyte hard disk drive that I edit on. I do it this way because I seem to have less recording fuck ups when I'm recording to a SSD. One eternity later. Now that I've transferred the files over, I can open my editing software. I'm going to piggyback off a previous video I've made and use it as a template. This speeds up the process and helps me keep things homogeneous and recognizable video to video so I don't fuck something up in the sequence, and also so that the audience knows more accurately and quickly to click away from my video and check out something else. Where was I? Ah yes, bastardizing a previous project. I will strip away the unique assets and I am left with a few holes to fill. This is where it gets exciting. I'll push the back end out to make sure I have enough room for the incoming heat. I must unmute all of the audio tracks like a BDSM ball gagger. I then smash the chronological earliest video into the timeline. I need to do a little sound check here.
Make them work for, say, an hour. And not play it for 4 hours or whatever during the time that I wanted to play it.
I should have mentioned this earlier. Before I hit the record button, I have to do some balancing up front for the audio levels, or they will be off. And in this video, they are off. Game volume was a tad too low. Fuck it. Ship it. Am I right? We can blame QA/QC on it later. After a quick volume adjust, I'm off to the races. Oh wait, where's my audio track for my microphone? More on that later. If this Adobe Premiere Element yada yada whatever supports importing multi-audio tracks, I have yet to find it. I have to open Audacity to reveal my microphone track. I have to remember to choose the right line item or I've wasted my time. I installed some modules so it will recognize MP4 files. Don't ask me how I did it. One eternity later. My mic track is now imported, but it sounds like 1967 ham radio shit. I played it a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, I played it a little bit, but I didn't play it enough to understand anything. So I have to run a couple of noise reduction passes. If I get carried away here, it will suck what little life and warmth I actually have from my voice like one of Lestat's kindred. Then I have to amplify the volume, but just under max, as I don't need any audio clipping. I will find out what was the max in the waveform later and Control-Alt-Delete that biatch. Time to save the project in the nested files named cleverly as Audacity.
One eternity later.
Then I will export this as a WAV file in the next file folder over called Audacity Cleaned. It's just dumb enough to keep shit straight.
One eternity.
I spit on it and shove it into place, keeping note that the export is a few frames short. I'll spot check for alignment later and adjust if necessary, but it should be good to go. I don't know why it does that. And obviously, this is in no way a tutorial for the Elements, Premiere, Adobe program or whatever, but I will tell you I use the plus and minus keys to quickly zoom in and out while surfing through the timeline like you've been seeing me do quite a bit here. Now I need to customize the intro standardization. Search for a title card or whatever and save it into the nest. Slide it into place and make it bigger. To speed things up, I need to copy the last title card and then paste the effects and adjustments into the new hotness. I realize that there will be some cleaning up that needs to be done, so we will readjust some of the cropping parameters and make sure it's positioned appropriately for the screen. There are some media elements here that are set as disabled. That means that it is basically rendered as invisible and inaudible. But since it's still an element in the timeline, I can enable it later freely and make adjustments on the fly. So I will enable some of these and then add the text beta test to this one, reposition it, and now it looks official. I need to give this one a little test run to make sure everything is positioned correctly. Overall, an hour and 45 minutes is a bit too big chungus, so I have to decide where to chop this down. The section I separate via digital circumcision, I'll just deactivate it and slap it on top, so it's noticeable to my future self. If this turns into a series, I'll use this one as my first entry to build from, and add other clips in after that. If not, it'll just be a relic. Add an extended fade out as the transition to my end screen. For a long play, I like to keep it near the hour mark, give or take a quarter of an hour. Some of my other video series have an ideal length as well, but these ones are self-imposed restrictions. Plus, an hour and 30 minutes is about all I can fit onto my phone depending on the export settings. Why does that matter? I'll get there. I need to have about 20 plus seconds at the end of the project as a landing zone for the end screen hyperlinks YouTube has available as a tool, so I must search for a new end screen. Plug my phone in, cause you know I got some video on there for this. I might as well rip all my camera media off to make room for this upcoming rendered video project.
One eternity.
I see I freed up several giggle bits. I estimate this project will be about 18 gigs. We will see. Alright, now that I've moved all the media over to my HDD, I will select a few that I remember I recorded specifically for end screens. I'll copy them over to a pinned folder called A1.5 end screens. This is basically a library for this tool. I'll choose one and then drag and drop it onto the timeline, size it to fit, position accordingly, lower the volume, and add a fade in to the front. Voila! I scan through the recording and attempt to select some key points in the video. Sometimes it's hectic action, sometimes it's story cliffhanger. In this case, it's just good conversation with a few like-minded friends. I copy-pasted them into the backside of the project to fiddle around with them a bit. I try to shrink this sneak peek into under a minute and stuff it in the front in an attempt to hook some people's interest. I'm slow and boring, so I need to employ every trick that I'm smart enough to understand. It's a little loose up there, but I'll tighten it up in time. I spot check the cuts to make sure they are still aligned the right way with no accidental blank spots in between. This would be dead air, and I really don't want that. Then I might do a once through viewing at 1.5 speed to make sure there isn't something really wrong with the quality, or perhaps catching if someone says anything too dicey that might be embarrassing later. I have caught a few things over the time that makes this part of the process worth it to me. Since I still have a lot of low-level hum and hiss background noise from my turbo-fucked mic setup, I commonly scrub through the vocals and cut out any unnecessary dead air that would otherwise add a dingy layer of filth ambiance to my presentation. This is as monotonous, as missionary, and as painful as the first time. My fingers, eyes, and ears hurt when it's over, as it does when I'm finished editing. Oh hey, there's that biatch from earlier, the loudest noise on the track. Terminated.
You're terminated, fucker.
Time to open Audacity again. I have to record my audio intro to inform the viewer of the synopsis. Sometimes these are thought out beforehand. Often these are right off the top of my head and one take only. I really don't have time to read from a script. I do some minor editing and clean it up a bit, like I did on my mic track for the gameplay. Then I slap this bastard into the front of the Elements project and weave it in between the existing sheets like I know what I'm doing. I resize the intro line to fit the intro text and the other image layers while bringing the backside right up against the front of the intro, filling whatever gap there was previously. Add a transition onto where the main video starts. Now it will flow together seamlessly, even if it is amateur and rudimentary at best. Upon scrubbing through the video, I notice that I confuse myself, so I smack F9 and leave a note proving that I'm not so stupid as to not know I'm an idiot, moron. Now that I feel confident that I am finished with the project, it's time to execute the special boost move. I export this as an MP3 file on the highest quality. Then, stick that hot mess into the empty track high above the rest of the trash and mute all the previous audio tracks. Next, slice off just the tip, which equates to a single frame, and I have to cut a few frames off the ass end too. I really don't know why exporting, I end up with seemingly different lengths of audio WAV to MP3. I raise the audio level of this track to max, to make sure that it seems like about the same level as the rest of the shit on YouTube. If there is a decibel standard on the platform, I've not heard of it. And if there's a way to adjust the decibel level of the entire project in Adobe Editor, I've not seen it. As a rule during editing, I am adjusting the audio mix to make every source seem like it makes sense with each other, but still within comfortable levels to listen to while editing. When I finish the special boost method, it should make my eyeballs rattle in my skull. I do a few spot checks in some key areas to make sure that the audio didn't go out of alignment with the visuals.
They listened and fixed it rapidly.
Going through, can you search?
Yeah, but there's levels of your town.
Yeah.
Like,
Now, it's time for the big export. I ship this thing out with 1080p resolution and 60 frames a second if I can, with the H.264 format, whatever the fuck that means. And now, we wait. Whoa. Estimated time keeps going up. When will it stop? Over 4 hours to render out! Normally I do something cool while this happens, like spend time with my family. Cook them dinner. Or sleep. But through the magic of video editing, it is done. I indulge in a little preview of the newly rendered file.
Yeah. No, I'm still gonna bitch about it, but somebody else bitching about it? Nah, you're a pussy.
It looks good. And it's under 20 gigabits. Yay! Now I can save it to my phone. I will begin the upload from my phone on my wireless plan because my internet service at my residence is a total piece of worthless inhuman sack of hammered dog shit, pickled and putrid swine vomit, fuck, lick, shit, fuck, man! Oh, I'm getting mad just thinking about it. But it's okay, because now I get to make the thumbnail to the video. And let me tell you, it takes for fucking ever to upload from my phone, like an hour for every gig. So in this case, 19 hours. Isn't that something? If I were to try to upload from my residence, it would take 4 or 5 days because my less than 1 megabyte per second upload speed here at my residence. And basically, while I'm uploading that video during that time, no one else could use the internet for anything more than just maybe web browsing or something. Even then, it would take forever. No streaming videos on Netflix or anything else. No YouTube, basically, and absolutely no multiplayer video gaming because it just ain't gonna happen. For some reason, when you upload a video, it saps all your download speed too, or whatever. I received that note from my past self and changed the desktop to something a little bit more interesting. Mission accomplished. Harder than that fiasco in Afghanistan. I thought I was bad about pulling out, but damn! I open back up the Elements Editor project and save it immediately as a new name. I add TC, that's for thumbnail creation, so I can freely fuck this project up without ruining my last file that was my final revision for the export of the finished product video. Here, I will scan through the timeline and identify a few keyframes that look tantalizing to me. I use the freeze frame function and make sure that it inserts the new freeze frame into the movie. These act as a bookmark for me so I know where I've been. And of course, these will save that JPEG into the nest as well. Once I've gathered enough of these freeze frames, I will close out this TC and open up the Long Plays Thumbnail Creation Master. This is another template that I have to keep my thumbnails appearing homogeneous for identification in the algorithm. I'll customize and rearrange a few things here, maybe pump up the saturation for some needed punchiness, and bam! Time to choose the best one. This is the thumbnail. Sometimes I do a little bit of Photoshop if I have to do a layer masking and such, but not this day. Once the video has begun uploading to YouTube, I can open that file up and start making adjustments to it. So the first thing I'm going to do is slap the thumbnail in place and build the rest of the description. I basically copy and paste all the information from my last video in this same series over to this new one, and then I change a few key specifics to match this project. I like having a framework and a process. I do the same thing for the tags, making sure to add in the words that are in the title as some descriptors. I'll make sure that this is ticked not for kids and that it is in the gaming category. Add the recording date and the game title so that it can be automatically embedded as a hyperlink in the description later. I'll make sure to set up my cute little 20-second outro hyperlink videos end screen tool thing that I mentioned earlier, and I'll save my changes a few times as I go. And now it's time to give it a little preview.
As they go along, which a lot of people are going to be fucking upset about because they don't understand how these things go, or they do and they just expect more from a triple.
I'll also drop a like and subscribe if I haven't already, and leave a comment to engorge the algorithm beast, because these artists and creatives on your choice entertainment platform need some sort of positive reinforcement to keep sharing their passion. Or I like my own shit because I'm a fart smeller. And then wham bam, thank you ma'am, I'm ready to schedule a publish date or set it active right away. And then I wait for the views to roll in. Hey, I'm Protodead, and I appreciate you making it this far into the video. And if you have, surely that means that you like it, so drop me a like and leave me a comment down below, expressing any feelings that you might have about the video. That way I can engage you, and we can have a discussion back and forth in the comments. I'd really love to do that. Leave me a follow for future content. I'd like to continue to make more stuff about music, video games, movies, and other shit that I'm into, and I'd appreciate it if you can help me make yourself a part of that. I'd appreciate your help, me helping you to help me later on when we are helping each other. Share my video if you can. It helps me out a lot and helps me grow my channel. Hey, I'm Protodead, and I'll catch you on the flip-flop.